Welcome back to Midday, and we are in the Midday kitchen, but we're not cooking. Well, kind of, I guess. Kind of. Karla Pearce is joining us. She is a wonderful artist in our community, and you've actually come to paint for us today.
Yes, I sure have, and it's creative cooking with paint, eh?
I like it. It's great.
Yeah, it's lots of fun, and I'm doing art classes now. It's the Holly Mall as well as the market, so it happens right after the market from 3 to 4, and we're doing a paint-along class. So what I'm doing here, we're going to do that in the mall in a week or so. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what kind of ability would this be for? Do you have to be at a fairly high ability to be able to take part in the class?
Oh, no, that's for everybody.
Okay.
Even like teens or, you know, 12 and up, really. It's a class for everyone, and it's lots of fun, and everything's inclusive. So you just show up and paint. You don't have to worry about the paints, the brushes, the canvas, the aprons, none of that. You just show up as is, and 2 hours later you go home with a fantastic painting.
Ta-da! How fabulous is that?
Yeah.
Now, you actually brought in a few samples of work as well.
Yeah.
So we'll have a look at those now. So what are we looking at here?
This is what we're going to do next week. Yay! Or tomorrow, I should say. This one is happening tomorrow right in Sahali Mall. So I'm going to take everybody through that snowy painting. It's going to be lots of fun. And
beautiful colors.
It's not snowy yet, but that's okay. I don't mind. We can always pretend and paint it.
Get us in the season.
There's another one there. Did that one the week before last, and that turned out really great. I had a lady work on that. She'd never painted before, and it turned out fabulous. Another really fun painting. And these look hard, but actually they're not. You know, if I just talk you through it step by step, you start, when you break the painting down into bits and pieces, then you understand how to move forward with a creative process.
See, to me that looks so incredibly difficult.
No, it's not. And that one I played around with it, with the mountain, and just trying to get, you know, a feeling of the Kamloops area, and a lot of it's invented, you know, just from my imagination, and so we can have lots of fun painting too. It doesn't have to be the way that it looks. That's for photography. What we do as artists is interpret the world around us.
Okay, so it doesn't have to look exactly the same. No. That's not even really the point of it then.
No, not at all. I think I'm going to start painting here for you.
Okay, this is fantastic. So this is acrylic paint?
This is acrylic. Okay. And I use primary colors, so I've got
beautiful bright tones.
Yes, magenta, by the way, is a primary, not red. So I use magenta, blue, yellow, black, and white. Okay. So that's all I ever use in any of my paintings. So where we want to start with all the paintings is a background. Okay. And then we build it up to the foreground. So right off the get-go, I'm going to mentally divide this into 3 sections, and then we start right about down here. Now this is just an image that I have, and right now it's just in my head actually, from the driving up to the hill up to Juniper for however many years I've been doing it. So I remember the mountainscape there. So that's basically, there is our horizon line. There's some mountains looking eastward off into the distance, and then we start popping in the sky. Like, how long did that take? Not long, but
couple of seconds, really.
But as we go along, this is the great part is your building. So we start with the background, and I'm going to pop in a sky now.
So what do you think is the biggest mistake that somebody who is new to this medium makes?
Overworking or underworking a project is very, very common. So I think I have 2 different types of students. One type is too scared to do anything. Right. And the other type is overzealous and makes mud all the time, which is like mixing all the colors together in a big circle round and round. So one of the things that I always tell people is try to limit the amount of brush strokes. So why would you make 10 brush strokes when you can accomplish that with 1? It's more efficient. And then the color mixing is like recipes. It is very much like cooking. You learn after experience. Right now, I have to measure to make any bread or anything like that. But if I do it enough, I wouldn't have to really measure it anymore, because you know how much is there. So I've just put in some blue and white here. Now I'm going to mix in
And honestly, it looks really cool. Like if I was doing this, this would take me 5 hours.
No, honestly.
One little brush stroke, another little brush stroke.
Honestly, anyone can do it. And you know, and I feel that, see there, we've just added a little bit of extra interest into this painting because now we've got purple happening in the sky. And that's a lot more fun than just a boring plain old blue sky. I think it's
stunning. The colors,
you know,
are stunning.
we start to play, and why do it the way that it is when I can do it with what's going on in my mind? There, and you see, right off the get-go, we've got some kind of background, and then I'm going to put a kind of a funny cloud in here, I think, somewhere around here, and that's helping us right off the get-go to get that shape of what's happening within the landscape, and then you can do
what a great start.
Yeah, I know, and here we go. There it is, some little light bits. Just popped it right on. Now, I've been painting for a long time, so I can...
You make it look really easy. It's like, well, I think I could maybe try and do that.
Absolutely. I think everybody can. See, we're just going to make that come down a little bit. Wow, just like that.
Wow, just like that. Okay, so Karla Pearce painting in the studio with us today. So you're going to stick around. You're actually going to finish this.
I am going to finish that.
Okay, so at the end of the show, we will have a finished product for you. So that's still to come here on Midday. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
We're going to be back in just a moment. Welcome back to Midday. We're back cooking in the kitchen with Karla Pearce, cooking with paints, that is. You have been very busy while we have been chatting, so this looks amazing.
Yeah, it's coming along, and it's not even that difficult to do, honestly. I will teach anyone to do this painting in 2 hours. It's a Halimal on Saturday. Okay. That's like tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
Santa's going to be there too, right?
Okay, so do we need to pre-register though?
It's always a good idea to pre-register for a class because then I have everything that you need.
You have all the easels set up, all the paint set out, have everything ready.
That's it. Okay. And then away we go. But I'll just show you how to finish here. So
this good idea.
This is the tree. So what I've done is I did the background, I did the sky right away. And then we put in a few extra colors with the back hills. So I like the combination of the yellows and golds.
Yeah, the oranges look just beautiful.
Mixing in with the violets. So if you look across a color wheel, they're kind of opposite. So you got your warm and your cool. So that always pops out. And then again, I put some warm tones, and then the brush stroke is just a simple up movement, and that's all you need to do to get the feeling of grass. We don't need to paint in every single little, because again, if you can do an up movement with your brush stroke and do 10 of those as opposed to 100 little movements, it takes you all day. And it's a waste. You don't have to do that. The big part of doing a good painting is having fun while you're doing it.
Right, and if you're stressing about every single little.
That's right. It's not the way that I paint. I mean, there's some hyper-realist painters out there that are so amazing. I don't have the patience. I want to play with a paint. That's what I want to do. I want to feel the energy of the paint happening.
And you're not afraid of color.
Oh, I love color. I'm a colorist. I think I see a lot of color that people don't, and it's because of a trained eye, right? I know how to look at things and understand what color it actually is.
Right.
But that takes a little bit of practice to do that. And many of my students, over a course of a year or two, will start to see it. They'll just be like, oh, I woke up today and everything looks different, like awesome. I can see the color of the snow. It was just snow before, but I actually see 5 colors in that blob of snow.
Right.
Which we don't have right now.
Which we don't have right now. Okay, so let's talk about the tree.
Yeah. So what I've sketched it in with a smaller brush, so just a little one.
Right.
And so that you can get into fine work. And typically you go big brush, and then a medium brush, and then a small one as you work through the painting.
Okay, so that's what gives it the depth.
That is correct,
okay.
Yeah. And so now we're into the small brush business, and I'm just putting some, it's kind of an ochre, sort of a yellowy brown color, right on top of the tree so that we're connecting some of these colors and some of these colors. Okay. If I did it a different color, let's say bright red or something that's not in the painting, it doesn't make any sense. It just sort of sits there by itself, and you're like, why? Yeah. So you will always want to visually connect things a little bit. I'm painting with my wrist when I'm doing the small finishing stuff. It's just a little gentle brush strokes, and that's how we're getting those highlights on the tree. Now I painted in the branches in a black tone, and we don't have to go over every single branch. This right here is called a continuous line. I broke the line, and I don't know if you see super well, I don't anymore. And so when I look, I'll see parts of trees, like the top part, maybe bottom part, but sometimes branches and things disappear in the distance. So that's what a continuous line is. You break it and then follow it through. So your eye will follow it through, and what it does is it pushes it back into space. Neat little tricks and things you learn going along. And then,
you'll obviously help with that as you go through your class.
So, like a painting like this, this painting actually, I will teach everybody how to do that wants to learn how to do this one.
Right.
And we have everything included, so you don't have to worry about the thing. You just jump right in and paint away, and that's basically it. So this guy's pretty much, I think, done.
It's beautiful.
Little bits here and there, and. You know, we do 18 or 16 by 20 size frames, so it's easy to find
a frame for it,
an actual frame if you want to frame it.
Right.
And or you can just hang it on the wall as is. A lot of artists will paint the sides of their canvases, and that just gives it a
finishing touch or whatever.
Or they'll wrap it around, and that gives it the finishing touch, and that's it. Gorgeous color, flow of the trees.
Beautiful. I think the biggest thing that I've noticed as you've been doing this is the fearlessness, right? Just the ability to go, I'm just going to do this here. And for somebody who doesn't do, you know, something like this, that would be probably the hardest thing for me to just like, okay, I'm just going to do it.
Yes. And it's a lot of giggling and nervousness right at the very front. Oh no, what am I doing? But once you get going, it's like giving yourself permission. I've always believed that everybody has the ability to be creative, and I think it's good for us to be creative. And I was drawn to it because I needed some of that healing aspects as a young person, and carried through with it all the way through my life. And I think everyone needs that. You access different areas of your brain at the same time, and it almost gives you like a natural high while you're playing with the colors. And it's just giving yourself permission to play. And the big thing is, the more fun you have, the better the paintings are. And it makes you feel good afterwards to say, I did this.
Yeah, absolutely. And you could be doing this or something like it tomorrow. KarlaPearce.com is where you should go. Lots of details there.
Yes, you can register right online. It's real easy. Hit the sand and off, you know.
Ta-da, there it is.
That's it, yes.
You see it on the screen there, so you have an idea, and enjoy, play.
Yeah.
Be fearless.
Be fearless, have some fun, right? But, you know, we all got to go back down to our younger selves and just play with a paint.
All right.
And that keeps you young and healthy.
All right, Karla, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We're going to be back in just a moment.